I'm here today with the Principal of Excelling Key Subjects, Mr. Idris Musty, and we're just talking about the Evening Standard campaign to raise literacy rates in London. There's been a lot of statistics and figures talked about rates of literacy in London. What's been your experience as a teacher of pupils and students reading and appetite for reading and so on, and literacy rates?
Well, I mean, I look at it from 2 points of view. Literacy is one, which is very important. And another area is actually when people grow up, when they leave school. It is alarming, the percentage of CVs which are not written in good English or with so many grammatical errors. And so many grammatical errors. That is just a reality. I mean, the figures are staggering, considering that up to a third of children in London do not actually own a book. It is very difficult to believe. Up to 50%, over 50% of employers have had to pay extra money in order to get their employee to scratch in terms of basic reading and writing. We have very alarming figures here. And it isn't too surprising, actually, when you look at people who are leaving school in terms of the level of literacy, reading and writing they have when they leave school. There are so many practical help or basic things that parents could do in order to encourage young people to read, especially boys. Not to single out boys, but it is more prevalent in boys. In terms of books, libraries, the vast majority of libraries in London, they lend people books.
Sure.
Some of them lend 5 books or more. Do try to get your child to enjoy reading books from an early age. The TV is a distraction, and it is very dangerous because once they get into TV, it is very difficult to win them off it. Yes, it requires sacrifice for parents. I understand that parents may be very busy, and the convenient thing is to get them to watch TV. We all do it as parents. It is the extent of it that one does. The recommended limit is about 30 minutes before the age of 4 or 5. It is a maximum of 30 minutes a day, and we're talking including video here. We're talking about 30 minutes maximum a day. It is very important they get into the art of reading.
Sure.
When young people enjoy reading, it really helps.
Do you think there's whether children read for pleasure or whether they read kind of books that have been suggested to them by school? Do you think that it matters what they read?
Well, it does when it comes to doing exams. But what we have to do first is to get them interested. Look for the topic they write. Look for the topics they like.
Sure.
For example, boys may be interested in dinosaurs or cars.
Sure.
Even at a very early age, or dragons or what have you, and
Sure,
girls.
sure.
I mean, I'm sort of being stereotypical here.
Sure.
It depends on the topics they're interested in. As long as the material is written in good English, what is important is to get them to start reading something at an early age.
Sure. So you think as long as there's an appetite to read something, that's better than nothing.
Something that is written in good English.
Sure.
And encourage it, what they like. If you can't afford to buy it, borrow it. Encourage relatives to buy books as opposed to other things. And
Sure.
Do your best to get them away from the sort of peer pressure where they put parents. Children put a lot of pressure on they put a lot of pressure on parents because of peer pressure. Try to educate them on that, or do all you can to get them away from it so they don't start demanding you buy them toys all the time.
Sure.
Try to get them to appreciate books at an early age.
Do you, obviously as technology moves forward, there's reading on phones and computers and tablet computers, iPads and so on, e-readers and you name it. Do you think there's any benefit or any negativity associated with reading material that isn't on a book, isn't in a book, but might be on a screen?
Well, I mean, the temptation really when you're reading from the screen is that the screen where you're reading from, is it a computer?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have internet access? Is there the possibility or the temptation of being digressing from what you're meant to be doing, sort of being disrupted, So, I mean, for me, really, I like the smell of book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like the smell of books, and I think they should start by actually reading real books as opposed to the online material and
Sure,
other can be added on later. But really, is the actual idea of actually
Sure.
holding a book. I think there is something to it.
So give the 8-year-old a book and not an e-book, basically.
Indeed. At a later stage, maybe you can move on
Sure.
to that. But at critical age in their life, it's important they actually get
Sure.
into the art
Sure.
of
Sure.
reading book and the enjoyment of it.
Sure. Excellent. Would you add anything else at all? Any recommendations?
What I'll say again, if I could sort of summarize what I've said in the past, is get them to read books from an early age. Try to get them away from the TV and video.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very helpful, and it's very it is a distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very difficult when they get into it to avoid that vicious cycle. Go to library, visit libraries,
Mm-hmm.
speak to them about books that you may be interested in, try to get them interested or what they like, what they want to do, even well before they start to read something like Harry Potter. There are so many books on different topics.
Pre-Harry Potter.
Yes.
For
yeah,
younger
try
children.
Indeed. Try to get them into it at an early age.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.